News This Morning.
Good morning and happy Friday to you. I'm Connor James. The time is about 6:01. Let's check in with meteorologist Kelly McShane for a look at your forecast this morning. And Kelly, a really beautiful weekend ahead.
Yes, we are expecting a very nice weekend here in the mountains. We just have to get through today, a few rain chances, but overall, we're starting off this morning a little bit on the foggy side. That visibility, especially into the Cumberland Valley region, less than 1 mile for a lot of folks. So be very careful out on the roads this morning, just like yesterday. I think it is a little bit better conditions than yesterday. However, we're still looking at that dangerous patchy dense fog. Now those temperatures, we are in the mid to upper 60s, a few 70s popping up. Definitely a warm start to our day, but satellite and radar not showing too much to talk about. A stray shower just to the north of Moorhead, and we are going to see a few rain chances heading into the afternoon. I'll have those details here in just a little bit, Connor.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Well, it was really an unprecedented day in Clay County yesterday. For the first time in history, a sitting vice president visited Manchester. I was there as he addressed the nation and the state's opioid epidemic and announced about $10 million in federal funding coming to the region.
The Department of Health and Human Services has authorized another $400 million in additional grants to fight the drug crisis nationwide, and nearly $10 million will come to the state of Kentucky. We are with you, Kentucky.
Vice President Mike Pence spoke to a crowded room of nearly 400 people about their administration's work to decline the amount of opioids throughout the nation.
I expect as I look out at this crowd today, there's no one in this room that doesn't know a family that's been impacted, particularly by opioid abuse.
U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Alex Azar joined Vice President Pence. He mentioned a study launched by the National Institutes of Health that'll focus in on how to treat opioid abuse in the region.
And one of the communities that will be a particular focus of this work is next door to here in Knox County.
Pence also adding that their administration has reduced the amount of opioids prescribed by nearly 34% across the country. He went on to say that they've seen a 5% decline in opioid deaths in the last year, and here in Kentucky, a nearly 15% decrease.
People that are caught up in drug abuse and addiction need to know there's help. There's help.
Of the $10 million, Pence specifically added a lot of that will go to facilities in Whitesburg, Beattyville, Hazard, Prestonsburg, and other eastern Kentucky communities. Vice President Pence also talked with members of Operation Coal Country. Those are members of the armed forces that provide free health care to people in our region. Well, more than 300 people were at that event in Manchester to hear the Vice President speak. Some people lined up for hours before the doors opened at 10:45 in the morning. Donnie Patrick was one of the first ones there. He drove up early yesterday morning from Williamsburg. Patrick said it was a chance of a lifetime.
We knew it would be a huge crowd here to see the Vice President, so we wanted to make sure that we got here and got to see him.
Officials did have to turn a few people away once doors were closed. Those people did have the opportunity to sit in an overflow area under a tent. A crowd also greeted the Vice President when he arrived in Kentucky at the London Corbin Airport. If you were on 4th Street in London around lunchtime, you might have caught a glimpse of the Vice President. Before he arrived in Manchester, Vice President Pence, Governor Bevin, and Congressman Hal Rogers made a stop for lunch. They stopped at Weaver's Hot Dogs. They even ate inside the restaurant. And the visit also brought a big moment for Harlan County Judge Executive Dan Mosley. Governor Bevin introduced Mosley to the Vice President. Mosley says they discussed the situation with the Black Jewel miners. The Black Jewel miners protest is still going strong at Harlan County. Tuesday we learned Copper Glow won the bid for those mines. The deal could close, though, as soon as today. Meanwhile, a Lexington church is jumping in to help. They're taking up school supplies they plan to bring down to Harlan on Sunday. They will have a bus set up in Lexington today to pack up and drive on down. And as students fill the halls for another year, schools across the state are working to make sure they can do so safely. Amendments to Senate Bill 1 were signed into effect in March, tightening the focus of school security in Kentucky. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more on what these changes look like and how they are implemented in Floyd County.
You might find it a little more difficult to visit a school this year.
Welcome to Prestonsburg High School. How may I help you?
Schools across the Commonwealth implemented new security precautions as an answer to Senate Bill 1.
You will press the button at one of our doors, our school doors, and you're asked a series of questions.
Floyd County Schools Superintendent Danny Adkins says those questions will help assess why someone is visiting.
Yes, I'm here to see technology, please.
May I see your driver's license, please?
Once you answer those questions, you will be expected to show a photo ID before gaining entrance. Then there is one more step.
As you're buzzed into our schools, you will sign in, receive a visitor's badge, and if you're going into the school, you will leave your keys at the front desk.
Adkins says the district added this extra precaution so the schools can keep track of visitors.
What if someone decides to hide in the school? They've not left anything and they check in. We never know if they've left. So now we're accountable. We can be accountable for everyone that enters and leaves our building.
He says the physical tokens being present will help keep track of the amount of people in the school, keeping the students as safe as possible.
The safety of the children is, that's the most important thing we're entrusted with to begin with, because if we can't keep them safe, then we can't help them provide that future.
Though the process is a lengthy one, Adkins says parents understand and appreciate the efforts.
That they'd be willing to do whatever it took to keep their children safe, and that's where we're at too. We're willing to do whatever it takes.
Even if that means taking a few extra steps. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Adkins says anyone intending to visit the school should make sure they always have a photo ID on hand. He says the process began Wednesday in all Floyd County schools. Pike County schools have also shared a similar entrance requirements on their schools' Facebook pages. And it's National Farmers Market Week, and in Whitesburg, government officials stopped by to celebrate. Whitesburg has hosted Thursdays on the town throughout the summer. The farmers market has been its center point. They talked about the Kentucky Double Dollars program that is promoting healthy eating. The Double Dollar program is for those who use SNAP and several farmers market nutrition programs. It is simple. For every dollar you spend, you get an extra dollar to buy more produce.
The Double Dollars program helps the produce to be affordable to people that couldn't afford it, so that we can get into their hands locally raised fresh produce that I really believe is more nutrient rich.
41 farmers markets across Kentucky participate in the Double Dollars program. Whitesburg was one of the first. A free meal for 300 people. The Cane Chicken in I keep saying chicken, it's kitchen. The Cane Kitchen in Whitesburg has been serving free meals every Thursday since May 30th. This has been part of Thursdays on the Town event in the city. Each week, different restaurants and chefs provide the meal. Last night, it was cooked by a chef from Favor, a restaurant in Lexington. He heard about the Cane Kitchen and wanted to get involved. He also wanted to make sure he used local ingredients.
All the vegetables were from the area. We over the last few weeks, just kind of touching base, seeing what's available, what's fresh, and then here's the list of what we can get. And I was like, all right, let's get these things, and then put it all together this afternoon.
Last night was the last Thursdays on the Town event of the season.
Happy Friday to you. Let's go ahead and check on that visibility again this morning. That seems to be the main issue, especially into the Cumberland Valley region. If you're traveling along Interstate 75 between London and Williamsburg, we could run into that patchy fog, as well as along the Hal Rogers Parkway. So just be very careful out on the roads this morning. That could be very dense at times. Now those temperatures, we are in the mid 60s for a lot of us. A few 70s popping up as well. Moorhead is at 72 degrees. Prestonsburg, you are at 71. Now, by the time we get to this afternoon, those temperatures going to be into the mid 80s. Those clouds are going to increase, and we're going to see a 30% chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms. However, I don't think we do see widespread chances, but definitely a good idea to grab the rain gear as you head out. I'll have that full forecast here in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Kelly, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, we will tell you more about the Pineville Community Hospital that is now providing services once again. And we remember the late Boonville Mayor Charles Long, who is believed to be the oldest mayor in the nation.